Hello, Twitch and YouTube. Welcome to AWS Repost Live, the companion show for AWS Repost. I am the usual producer, but once again, week over week, your host today, Chris Thomas. I'm joined by Siddhesh, who has been on the show before, so welcome back, Siddhesh, and Alan, who's new to the show, so welcome, Alan. I'll throw to each of you to give yourself an intro. Just let everyone know who you are and what it is you do.
Alan, you want to go first?
Okay, Ally Henderson. I'm a storage solution architect, so I focus on all the storage services that include AWS Backup and having protection conversations. Almost 5 years. Next month will be 5 years with AWS.
Hey.
I have a passion for data protection from one of my previous storage vendors that I was at, and really dived into AWS Backup here at AWS, and looking forward to helping with the questions today.
Good. Hopefully we've got a few.
Hi, my name is Siddhesh Chavan. I'm an enterprise support leader from enterprise support here at AWS office in Northern Virginia. So my focus area is around containers, storage, and as Alan mentioned, even I'm passionate about data protection. And that's the reason why we would be covering some of the critical aspects of AWS Backup Service today.
Yeah, yes. As Siddhesh said, we'll be talking about AWS Backup Service. So if you have any questions about AWS Backup Service, hi, Erie. Welcome back. Good to see you again. In front of the camera again. Hopefully next week I will be again receding back behind the digital curtain. But for this week, you got to put up with me. But we'll be talking about backup service, which is something that was new to me when we started talking about this just a couple of weeks ago to put the show together. So I'm looking forward to learning quite a bit. If you're familiar with backup service, please let us know in the, let's see, am I don't know if I'm mirrored or not, but I believe the chat's over here, or it's over there. I'll just cover both bases. Wherever the chat happens to be appearing on your screen, please add your questions. Please add your comments. Want to hear from you. Also, let us know where you're joining from. I'm joining from sunny Boston. So would like to know how everyone's day is going and how it's looking for you. But to avoid rambling, as I've already done, I just want to level set here for anybody else who's not familiar with backup service and wants to know more. Siddhesh, I believe you have some stuff prepared where you can kind of talk us through what this is, why people want to know about it, and how they're using it.
Yeah. So before directly jumping into the backup solution, let's try and understand like why really data protection matters. So basically think like in simple language, think of data protection like insurance for your business's most valuable asset. Just as you won't leave your house unlocked or your car insured, like you cannot leave your company's critical data vulnerable. Every day, like businesses faces like real threats from simple human error to sophisticated cyber attacks, and that can literally bring your operation to halt. And it would be like downtime, you would be having revenue losses. So data protection has emerged as a critical asset for modern enterprise operating in today's dynamic digital landscape. The importance of implementing robust data protection strategies like extend far beyond like the regulatory compliance. Earlier, people used to store backup only for compliance purpose, so that they are compliant as per HIPAA, SOC, or any other like compliance reference model. But like in today's world, like it is fundamental to an organization resiliency, reputation, and long-term success. So in an era where data breaches and cyber attacks are increasingly like become sophisticated and frequent, like organization faces like significant challenges, risks to their business continuity, customer trust, and financial stability. So proper data protection measures not only safeguard against this threat, but also ensure like rapid recovery in event of system failures, or like if there is any minor human error from your organization end. So what's the solution? Like what's the one-shot solution for AWS data protection? So there are many solutions out there, but like in today's show, we would be specifically focusing on AWS Backup Service, which provides like fully managed, centralized for your AWS organization. It will help you implement a comprehensive data protection strategies across all your accounts if they are part of a single AWS organization if they're part of multi AWS organization. Yep.
And I'm sharing a link right now to some documentation if you're not familiar with it. And if you'd like to read through that, that should sort of cover our basis just to get you level set. But we did get a comment from Erie on Twitch talking about it just happened. A business went bankrupt because they were hacked. I mean, that's, obviously worst case scenario, most likely, if you're a business. But I know, and as many people know, if you have your eye turned towards any technical news in the last few years, the amount of attacks that have been happening it has just been rising exponentially. And as things get easier to automate in terms of bots and things that can happen with AI, it's scary to think what could happen, how these things are going to scale, and what you can do to sort of protect your data sets proactively as things get more sophisticated and more directed towards the specific workloads and specific models. So I kind of want to start jumping directly into these, and that would bring us to repost, unless either of you had something you wanted to bring up. Alan, if you had something to weigh in here as well, would you help level set?
I had 2 quick slides that I'd like to cover with the audience before we get into the questions.
Yeah, of course.
So,
you got them up now, or?
I'm going to present them. So if you're seeing the 32110.
I am, yes.
And that's shared to the audience?
Yes. Let us know in the audience if for whatever reason you can't see them, but I see it on Twitch, so I think we're good over there.
So for all of you that may be like me and have been doing data protection for some time, I'm not going to age myself, but been around the block, you may be familiar more with the 321 backup concept that's been around for a long time. But as we add in this new threat of ransomware, cyber resiliency, AWS, we got together and really thought, okay, let's see if there's something we could really do to have comprehensive data resiliency protection against what we always used to protect ourselves against, and now including the cyber resiliency, the ransomware protection. And we've got this 32110. So it is 3 backups that you could look to have. Your operational, a DR copy, and maybe a cyber resiliency copy. So that's where the 3 backup copies come from.
Okay.
2 copies should be in different locations. And in AWS, that's 2 different regions. That's what we would have as locations with AWS. You should always still have your local, what I call the operational backup. That's where 99% of your just normal day-to-day, I lost a table in a database, I need a file back. So quick operational type restores, you still want to have that close to your data. Then 1 copy, and I'll talk a little bit about that as I answer the first question on today's show, is that the copy of last resort. That's the one that should really be vault locked, protected, cannot be damaged in any way. And if you are hit with the worst type of ransomware, that is your last line of restore. So that is where you can restore from. And then the 0 there is not a joke. We really want you to test your backups and test your recoveries. We don't want you to do this for the first time when you have your first ransomware attack.
Right.
So you want to have 0 issues with testing your backup. So that's where the 0 comes in.
Right. There's a reason that we conduct fire drills. We don't just put the system into the building and then go like, when the building's ablaze, then we'll know it works.
Yep. Now, we agreed that we wanted to show a reference architecture. So this will be able to be used for the questions that we're going through today.
Okay.
So, starting with our AWS organization, where we are maybe building some infrastructure at the organizational level on the top line. We're going to want you to use a delegated admin account. I actually have that in my demo. So we'll actually see the delegated admin account so that you're not managing this from the root management account. Lots of good best practice not to do that. You could potentially do key management in a key vault as well. I don't have this particular part of my demo, but it is something that could be a good idea.
Okay.
But let's look at the actual workload accounts. So this is where we're going to see the first backup happening within each workload account. Workload, 1 to n. So there could be any number of accounts having an application, and the first backup is in the local backup vault. Then in the same region, we would want to have a copy, and this is happening to be a lag vault. We definitely want to promote lag vault in the conversation today. We where from both of these accounts, we're sort of fanning into one lag vault as a copy in, say, the same region. But then we can, and that's the copy we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And then we extend the bunker account, and bunker is just a term used for where we send these backups if you want to really use, is that last course of restore. This could be in the second region, and we could then make backups to what is in the same region and then have a backup sent to the other region. So this gives you that sort of 3 copies of backup in the sort of worst case scenario. And then these with lag vault can be shared with a potential forensic account. If you ever need to do a deep dive as to what happened, this could also be your recovery account. Yeah, I don't actually have a block for a recovery account, but you'll see that in my demo. And then through one of our partners, Elastio, they could actually even interrogate and look inside the backups. What was there? What type of ransomware was it? What should we do to maybe take legal action after the fact?
Sure. And you were saying there, is the forensics account and the recovery account can be the same account, or they would speak to each other?
They would typically be different accounts.
Sure.
So
Okay.
The recovery account would actually be recovering and become the workload, N+1. Because the idea is the potential is that this account is unusable after a ransomware attack. So we don't want to restore back into the workload. So the recovery account becomes N+1. And then you recover into that new account, pristine, not affected with the ransomware, to continue your business.
Yes, but you keep that old account isolated so that your forensics account can still get access to it and diagnose it.
Yes,
Gotcha.
yes. Forensics is definitely important. Some of the and we're getting into legalese a little bit, but sometimes the insurance companies want to have that forensics so they know they can go after whoever the bad actors may be.
Right. Well, as we said earlier, the analogy of the fire alarm after the fire has done significant damage to the building, people do come in and take a look at it. So it is important that you don't raise the building.
No, absolutely. So those are the 2 slides I wanted just to set this stage with the width. So thank you for that time.
Yeah, of course.
And just coming quickly back to Eri's comment, like he mentioned that he or she, like the user mentioned that the business went bankrupt because they were hacked. So as Ellen mentioned, if we have this logically air gap vault with multi-party approval, like that's one of the robust way of designing your backup strategies. So it's a good way to protect your business against ransomware or any kind of cyber attack. So this is a newly launched feature, and we just want to make sure we are promoting this via this medium.
Yeah, and I'm glad that people can be here to talk about it. Like, I mean, security, as we always say, is job number 1 here at AWS. And so, of course, coming out and talking to people about how prevalent attacks can be. It's not to scare anybody. We don't no scare tactics or anything here. It's just a reality of the world that we live in, and it's best to be prepared for these before it becomes a real problem. So we're going to start diving into what people are saying over on Repost, which if you're not on Repost, you should be. It's a great site for people to be able to share knowledge. We're using it. There's insiders, outsiders, everybody who's an expert in the cloud, always trying to upskill one another. So there's really no reason to not use it. Also, I just want to say real quick, it looks like I'm hoping that the username is supposed to be Emily, because I would love that. So that's how I'm going to go ahead and pronounce it. Emily says, "Hello, guys." Hello, Emily.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your comment. Let us know where you're joining from. But we're going to go ahead and jump over into Repost itself. I grabbed down a few articles and a few questions from some folks that hopefully we can help them out today, or just kind of get some more context around how to use AWS Backup to maybe solve these problems. So we're going to start with this question here. I believe the username is pronounced Mayor, but Mayor is asking about how to copy AWS Backup across an AWS organization. So it seems like there might be multiple accounts. It looks like there's probably multiple people who need access. And so this might be a way for us to sort of level set how permissions architecture is sort of set up across backup. I believe, Siddhesh, did you want to take this one away?
So this is Alan.
Oh, is it Alan?
He would be planning, yeah.
My mistake.
Yeah, that's
No
fine.
worries.
Alan, would you like to take this one away?
I would love to take this one. So
Oh, good.
if you're able to share out my
Of course.
console.
Yeah, dig in.
So I have my lab environment made up of multiple accounts, because this is a question related to using multiple accounts within an organization.
Mm-hmm.
So I have multiple tabs. My first tab is my root. You can actually sort of see that I'm labeling them here. If you can see my organization root is here. This is my delegated admin. So my delegated admin is the second tab. I won't spend too much time on that. I do have what I call my prod 1 account. So this is the data I'm protecting. I'm backing this up. And then I'm actually copying this to my bunker account. So these copies are already happening. I'm going to do a manual copy for the audience today based on the question. But this has already been set up as part of my backup policies. And if I have enough time, I might give you a little glimpse into what it looks like to sort of recover in a recovery account using Lag Vault that is shared out from the bunker account. So let's get back to the root. To set this up, you do have to start at the root account where you're doing organizational management into settings. So at this stage, the organization is already set up. Yeah, so that hard work has been done, and you already have multiple accounts in your organization. So I'm able to go down here, and this section is specifically what I'm looking for is the cross-account management. So there's 4 things that you could enable here. I have them all enabled. This third one is specifically for copying backups. So I'm doing more than just that because I am doing the backup policies, and I'm also doing monitoring. And just recently, just as we just heard about, multi-party approval was released, and that also has to be enabled at the org level. So I have them all enabled, but this is the one specifically to do copies across accounts. I also have my delegated admin set up here. So I'm not doing any AWS backup administration from here. I'm doing that from my delegated admin account. And I have a number of policies that are set up at the organizational level. And they get applied to the accounts and the regions that I'm protecting. Again, not too relevant to the question, but just to show that when I go into my prod 1, so here is my prod 1 account. I'm going to look at the backup vault that is here. This 03 is the one I'm using where I've got backups, sending backup recovery points to. And I've got some database, some EFS, some EBS, all the recovery points showing up here.
Okay.
Let's take a quick jump over to the vault, the bunker account.
Okay.
So the bunker account, I have 2 vaults here, and they're both logically air-gapped. And there's a reason why I'm showing you 2, because I'm sharing them in the 2 modes. Originally, it was just RAM, Resource Access Manager sharing. And then recently, we added the multi-party authentication. So I'm using one of each in these 2 vaults to share to the recovery account. Again, that's how I built it up to make sure I can show how both work for a customer.
Now, is this a matter of preference or is this a best practice?
Well, so multi-party access control is new. And it's for those customers that really want a quorum-based authentication before they use the Lag Vault. So it's probably more of a conversation with the requirements of the customer to know if the multi-party access control is going to meet their needs, or if just sharing the Lag Vault is good enough. So both are viable. It's really depending on the customer requirements.
Yeah, it's a use case thing. Gotcha.
Use case. So here you can see that I am got a number of recovery points in the bunker account. Now, in this case, I have no resources local. So this is all just being copied in.
Okay.
And what I've done here is the copies that are happening with my policy, I've set the retention in the bunker to 7 days. But the manual copy that I'm about to show you, I set that to 14 days, just to show you that you can have different retentions. And the manual copies here are 14 days retention, but the ones happening with my policies are 7 days, just to show the separation between the 2. One last thing here on accessing, when you make copies to a vault, even though we enabled it, we still have to give permissions at the vault level that copies can be copied into it. And I did this with the organization. So I just did an organization, allow access to the organization, and that's my organization ID. So that's what this is. So without this permission, it didn't work. And I realized that when I was doing some testing with the new Lag Vault, because I missed this and I was wondering, why can't I copy into it? Oh, I came back, added the access policy, and it worked. So don't forget the access policy.
Okay. Good tip.
So let me grab this ARN. This ARN is going to be needed. This is the ARN of the vault I'm going to copy to. So let's go back to the production account. I'm going to do the most recent EFS, which is here. Let's take this EFS. And you can see restore is sort of the go-to, but I'm going to do a copy here. And I'm going to copy, and I'm going to put it in in the same region. So it is in Ohio. I'm going to do a different account. So as soon as I go to a different account, that's why I need the ARN. So I paste that ARN here. So it's going to go to my bunker account and the vault name 07.
Okay.
Again, the retention, I'm going to say for 14 days, just so you can see. Well, this may not finish while we're online. That's why I had those other ones already copied to show what they do look like when they're finished. Right. I'm going to use a default IAM role. IAM role is very important. So I'm using the default backup IAM role and go through and hit copy. So this will start a copy. You can see it's created. There is other things that are happening in my environment right now. So again, I'm glad I have those other ones that I've successfully finished to show you what it looks like on the destination. That if I go look at a EFS copy that I did a little earlier today, that it's sitting at 14 days. It's, this is the EFS file system that I copied from this production account manually into this backup vault in my bunker account.
Okay.
The last thing that I really want to point out here is encryption. Encryption is very important when it comes to copying from one account to another account. So let's have a quick look. Let's go back and look at that EFS file system. So when I look at that backup snapshot, the one that I've gotten here, we can see what is this recovery point encrypted with. Now, EFS will get encrypted with the vault key. This is a vault key that I have. But let me just quickly open this and show you. It's important to actually allow the bunker account, in this case, the ability to read from this key across accounts. And it shows up inside of the policy here in two places. Here's the first place. So this is the 77 is my bunker account, and it shows up again here. So this is needed for the copy to be successful, because this backup is going to be decrypted with from the key that is used now, and when it lands in the destination, it's going to be encrypted with the key in the destination vault. In this case, this is a lag vault, so this key is actually managed by AWS Backup Service. This key will not be seen in your KMS. This is one of the advantages of lag vault, that the key cannot be compromised when something gets to your account, because this is not inside your account.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. So one quick tip on this one is like if you are not using lag vault, then ideal way of encryption is copying customer managed key from one account to another account. Because ideally we cannot use AWS managed key, and that's a security red flag. So that's why we are promoting lag vaults again.
Okay, so lag vaults seem pretty powerful.
Yeah. Yes, lag vault is. I definitely think that's your future of ransomware protection, is using lag vault.
Right.
A logically air gap vault. For those who may not know the term, but lag is logically air gap vault.
Air gap. Oh yeah.
And I'll see if I can find some documentation specifically around a logically air-gapped vault, so I can share that with folks in the chat. But while I'm... go ahead.
One last thing here, because I said I'll try and show you very quickly. So in my recovery account, I have other than the default vault, which shows up as soon as you log in and open up AWS Backup, you see the default vault. There are two ways to share that. So again, I had two lag vaults because I'm using both options to sort of show how they share. So this was the original way of being able to share. My Vault 06 was shared through RAM, Resource Access Manager. So if I click into here, what am I going to see? I'm going to see all the backup recovery points that was in the vault, and I can select any one of these to start recovering in the lag vault, in the recovery account.
Right.
And this would look very similar if we looked at the now access through multi-party. So that's the 07. So 07, I'm sharing using the new multi-party. And again, this shows up the same way. You will see the same recovery points here, where you can select one and start recovering. Because before lag, we had to copy them into the recovery account and then restore. With lag sharing in the same region, you can start restoring quicker. Again,
Right.
a really good reason why you would want to look at using lag as part of your recovery process.
Less downtime, which who's going to argue with
It's a good
that?
thing.
Great.
So I think that was what I had for answering that question. I think I covered a little bit more than just how to copy, or the reason why do you copy? You want to copy to restore. Lag vault and sharing will get you restoring quicker.
When this is important context for those who aren't familiar with backup and some of these best practices, and it's great to show how much easier it is and give that context of here's what we were doing before, here's the pain points that arose from that, and because of that, we moved on to add these features into backup to make it easier on our customers. I think one thing I did want to bring up, we had a question from Shashank Sharma on YouTube, and hopefully they provided enough context here to where we'll be able to help them out. But they provided sort of a scenario here. Backup was used to back up an EC2 instance in region A and copy to region B. But when restored in region B, the EBS snapshot had region B KMS key set, but volume created was pointing to key A, leading to failed restore with error, invalid KMS key ID. Is this related to, you showed an example earlier of you ran into an error and then you needed to go and manually fix that yourself. Was that related to that explanation you had?
I'll take the first swag of that. So yes, sure. Key management is definitely a very important aspect across, not just your backup and your copying, but even restore.
Right.
Now restoring, and I'm trying to remember the last time I did an actual EC2 restore to sort of see the options that are available. When I do an EBS restore, I do remember seeing that you will get asked what key would you like to use in the restore. And it is best practice to use the key that is especially if it's cross accounts, to use a key that is in the destination account. So you can restore EBS, and in this restore process, say I want to use a KMS key that is created in that destination account that exists inside of KMS. So part of your recovery is also probably setting up some base KMS for what you want to use for those services in that recovery account. And then as you restore, you can select that KMS and restore. So I don't know if that's enough to help on this answer, but I know there's a lot of nuances related to restoring and selecting the appropriate keys in those restore processes.
And I'm going to go ahead and thank you for the explanation. I know it's hard, especially to parse, some extra context from the comments that we get via the live stream. So thank you for submitting the question. Please continue submitting questions. We'll try and answer them as best as we can. I would highly recommend taking your question and as much context as you can possibly provide over to repost and posting it there. Somebody will definitely be able to help you. And I think in terms of an example of maybe needing a little bit more context, we can jump into my next question that I pulled up from repost from user 90949. They made an account in order to ask the question sort of situation, but they're talking about a software level backup, and they specifically mention EC2. So pretty decent segue into talking about EC2 and how backup interacts with it. And Siddhesh, I do believe that this is your question to answer, correct? Okay.
So let's just understand, I have an EC2 mail server and AWS Backup is used to backup EC2 device still. Okay. So just to answer this question, although AWS Backup Services are robust mechanism to backing up your data, including your application data as well as your block storage data, but it really depends upon what application you're running, and it's always best recommended to consult with your application vendor. For example, if you're running an Oracle database on Amazon EC2 instance, in that case, although EBS snapshot is one of the best and consistent way of backing up your data via AWS Backup Service, but Oracle always recommend that you always have RMAN copy. RMAN is specific to Oracle databases data backup. So similarly, if we are just going to talk about mail server, we need to understand what mail server are we referring here. Is it Postfix? Is it Microsoft's mail server, or what server we are referring to in this case? Because the advantages that AWS Backup will provide is it will provide you full instance backup, including all the attached EBS volume, consistent snapshot, easy to restore capabilities, but potential limitation would be like you need to understand like application specificity. Like mail server, some of the mail server often have like built-in backup feature that are tailored towards the specific email data. Let's say like Microsoft Exchange server, like they have built-in Windows server backup. Postfix doesn't have like direct backup capacities for their mail data. Similarly, Zimbra, InMail server, they all have like backup functionality. So in this case, like let's just quickly jump to my console.
Of course.
And see what I have created in this case. So I'm just quickly going to jump to my EC2 console, and here is my mail server. So let's just quickly connect to my mail server using Instance Connect. Okay, I'm just logging into root. I have two volumes here, volume A, which is NVMe 0 and 1, and volume B, which is NVMe 1 and 1. And I have configured my mailbox data on like mail service data on NVMe 1 and 1, which is mounted on /data.
Okay.
In this case, I am running is a Postfix service which do not have any inbuilt backup mechanism, and it will have to depend on something like AWS Backup or EBS Snapshot. So let's just see into cd/data. Let's move to cd spool, and here is my mailbox data. So what we can try to simulate here is at this stage, let's just create one backup, and then we'll try to delete this backup file, and then we'll restore the data and see like if this backup data reappears on our volume or not. So let's just go to our console here, go to AWS Backup Service. Let's go to protected resources, and we can create an on-demand backup plan. In this case, I'm just going to back up my EBS volume for now. Let's make sure retention is just for 10 days. I need the volume ID. So let me just go back and pick up the right volume that I need to back up. So this is my mail server. Let's simply go to the storage section. Here you can see there are two volumes which are attached. One is root volume and one is the data volume, which is storing the actual root data.
Okay.
It just which is storing the actual mail data. So let's just copy the volume ID, go back to our AWS backup page, select the volume ID, just mail data again, and yeah, just create an on-demand plan. Make sure you are creating this backup as soon as within 1 hour, and just go ahead and create an on-demand backup plan. So that's my backup, which is been created. It's in progress. It will take some time
Sure.
to complete. So what we can do is either we can use the same backup, or I have some backup from the past. But let's do one thing. Let's complete the latest backup and show the recovery scenario. But before that, I mean, let's not waste time, and we can quickly jump to Alan's second question and then come back to this one.
We'll circle back. And of course, speaking of questions, if you have questions and you're joining us in the audience, please put them into the chat. Again, whichever corner that happens to be for you that your chat is in, go ahead and put your comments and your questions in there. But Alan, I do have another question for you that came from repost, and this question thankfully has maybe an abundance of context. So of course, deleting an AWS backup vault, and there's a mention of the lock-in compliance mode, and they want to delete their backup vault that has a compliance lock outside of the grace period to remove the lock. I'm not going to read all of everything that's in this question here, because as the audience here can see, we have a veritable tome of information that we've gotten from user Matt. So user Matt, I'll get your Matt Werber. excellent job. For the quick tip for those who want to post on Repost, providing as much context as possible is always going to save everybody a lot of time and headache and heartache, since it's easy for us to take a look at it and know exactly what your use case is, exactly what you're running into, and then the best way to remediate it, especially because we have the AWS Repost Agent AI tool that's already built into the platform. You can receive a question lickety-split, as long as you are providing the right amount of information that we're able to parse and get back to you. But I know I already spoke to you off camera, Alan, about how you're going to answer this. I would love to floor is yours.
If you could share out my
Of
lab
course.
environment again. So
Of
I'm going to
course.
use my production one account to help answer this. So when I go look at my vaults,
Mhm.
I have one vault that I'm going to be working with in particular. Today, you can see that right now you can see the status of vault lock is 0. This has not got vault lock enabled on it.
Okay.
So this is what we would call a traditional vault compared to the newer lag vault. So with the traditional vault, vault lock is an option that you can then apply to any existing vault. So let's go look to see what that looks like. So if I go and say I want to enable vault lock on an existing vault, so I'm going to say here's my 03 vault. Now let's start looking at the options that we have. I know the question was specific around compliance, but let me talk about the governance. So you have two options with the traditional vault. It's this governance mode or compliance. Governance mode will allow you as your account administrator to use a specific IAM permission to change, manage, and delete backups that were maybe set with compliance mode. So say it was set for a year, and you decide after 6 months, okay, I don't really need to keep it for the rest of the year. If it's in compliance mode with this elevated permission, those backups can be deleted.
Okay.
The difference between governance mode and compliance mode is, it says here, cannot be managed or deleted by user, even root user, even AWS. We can't, on your behalf, go and delete something that is maybe in a vault that has compliance mode enabled. And by the way, lag vaults, compliance mode is compulsory, so there's not even an option. Those lag vaults are all going to be compliance mode locked.
So when you put a lock on that in compliance mode, that's like a lock with a capital L. Like we mean it. This is locked. This frozen.
This is locked. But let's talk about some of the areas that you can still manage that, because I had this question once from a customer. How can I stop a mistake of a backup being sent to a compliance mode vault for 100 years? Like, who wants to pay for this for 100 years? This retention period is exactly how you do that. So you are able to control, you can put the fence around exactly what the lowest retention is and the highest retention is for a particular vault. In this mode, in the compliance mode, so you can say, maybe I want 7 days to be the minimum, and I want to say for 35 days to be the max. What does this do? Any backup either written to or copied to this vault with a retention of 7 days and more, 35 days or less in that window, those will be successfully either backed up to this vault or copied to this vault.
Okay.
Anything 6 days and below will be denied. It will be like, you don't meet the requirements for this retention period, so it will be denied. Anything 36 days and above will also be denied because it's above these 2 retention days. So this is a very important thing to talk to your organization internally. If you're doing compliance mode, you probably have some sort of compliance requirement or business requirement that you want to enable this. And yes, this is why it's been allowed. This is why we brought it to market, so customers can have a way to ensure that nothing can be deleted once it's in this backup vault that has compliance mode set. But you would have an idea of what is the max number of days. Maybe it is 35 days. Maybe it's 1 year. Hopefully it's not 10 years, or it's not, maybe not 10. Maybe it's not 100 years. Hopefully it's nothing that needs to be around for 100 years. So you can absolutely control that low and high water mark when it comes to what you set here for the minimum and maximum retention. The last thing also that also helps give you a quick way out if you decide, oh, I made a mistake yesterday, similar to what you were talking about with the previous question about the whoopsie. Oh, I set
Yes.
this up and I have compliance mode and I didn't want compliance mode. You do have a grace period. The default is 3 days, and this can go up quite high. I think it's I think it's up in the number of years that this can even be set. I don't know the use case around a number of years, but 3 days, 5 days, 7 days. That gives you a window of, if you come back here before that number of days is up, the compliance start date setting, you can now change it and take the compliance mode off. But once you exceed that, then compliance mode is set. Then it's set based on what these are. So if you ever do get to a situation where you're backing up and say you've set, I want to say 365, just as an example, that's 1 year. I could have done 1 year here as well, maybe. That probably would have been better. 1 year. So say I'm using these settings and I've got recoveries, retentions in here that are 1 year and they're sitting there. And then you decide, okay, I don't want to keep it there any longer. Again, there's no permission, or AWS can't go and make a deletion for you. But something that you could consider, and this is a big stick approach, is that hopefully you're using this in your bunker account. So bunker account is where I see Vault Lock being used mostly. So if you've got this in your bunker account, and then you decide, okay, maybe I can take the backups that I need to keep and copy it to bunker account 2. Say there's a second bunker account, same region, you copy some backup data around, and maybe this vault is left. And now I'm going to say, well, I now want to not wait for the year to, maybe stop paying for this. You can take that account if you've got nothing else in it and close it. You're able to do an account close.
Okay.
So there's a couple of things related to what to expect. The thing that will help you in that scenario is that after 90 days, so we give a 90-day period that in case this was a mistake or even part of a cyber attack, that you can get access back to your closed account. You have up to 90 days. You work with support. We're going to share this link with you so you can actually read this up on exactly how to close an account. But if you close your account at 90 days, and I'm trying to remember, it's right here. AWS permanently closes your account, post-closure period, and AWS permanently closes. There was a word. It also deletes contents and resources. So that happens after the 90 days.
Right.
Now, if it's done by mistake, you do need to make sure you pay for those resources to get back into it as part of the documentation here. But again, you would, if it is a mistake, you can get back to it. But if it was something I really don't want this anymore, and those retentions are more than 90 days, maybe they're a year and you're only 6 months into it or 3 months into it, and you want to save a little bit of money because you don't need to keep it. This could be a way to do it, but it is a heavy stick. It is a heavy stick approach to rather than just waiting for those recovery points to expire.
Yeah, scorched earth, I think, is also a term that you could use. But as we talked about off camera, closing an account, there is a process to it. So this isn't a situation where there's like a misclick and now you have 90 days to get your account back online. It's a purposeful closure, and hopefully if you're closing your account, you haven't run into some real issues. But there are recovery things in place. So it's really good to know that there are easy ways to reach back out, get that recovery process going without missing a beat.
So I think that's the answer to the question what I had prepared. So I'll hand it back to you, Chris, for the next one.
Yes, and I believe the next one's going to be Siddhesh. Before we go on to the next one, Siddhesh, I wanted to check in. How's that process going in your...
It's I mean, the moment you switch to Alan, it was completed. So
okay. Do you want to share that again?
Yeah. So I was saying, like, moment you switch from me to Alan, the process was completed. So we can go back to my screen and let's show the process. Let's continue the process.
Well, I'm still seeing our stream room here on your share screens. I didn't want to do it because we'll get the infinite window and
okay. So I am on
Lovecraftian horror.
Yeah, I'm on the console for backup. Can
Okay.
everyone see the
Yep.
screen? Yep.
Got it.
Okay. So this backup was completed on July 22nd, around 17:33 UTC. And this is my EC2 instance. So let's go ahead and click on the backup job. There is a recovery point which has been created, and we can restore the instance. So basically, my previous volume was GP2, so it gives you like option to create different volume type if you like.
Cool.
But for consistency, we'll stick to the same volume type and the same volume size that was done earlier, which was 10 GB. I'm just going to keep the IOPS and everything as it is. I'm not going to modify it. And just making sure it's selected in the right AZ. It's US East 2C because that's where my instance is. So if you
Gotcha.
want the instance and EBS volume needs to be in the same AZ if you want to attach it for the recovery purposes.
Gotcha.
So before even going that, like before restore, like let me just connect to my instance one more time. And I forgot one thing, which was deleting the data because like when we are demoing the restore.
Yeah, if the data's there, there's no need to restore it, right?
Yeah.
That's a pretty easy step.
Yes, CD mail. Let's see.
And while he's doing that, just a quick reminder to the audience, we're coming up. We will be ending the stream here in about 10-ish minutes, depending on how much you guys want to talk. So if anybody out there has any questions about AWS Backup or any questions that you feel that we can help you out with, put them into your respective chat location on your screen.
Okay, so I have deleted the data. Now let's
Cool.
go to the recovery part. Let's restore the backup. The restore may take some time.
Sure. I mean, we just deleted it, so.
Yeah.
And this might be a good time. I'm going to go ahead and let everybody know that if you have an AWS Builder account, you should have access to AWS Skill Builder, where there's a bunch of courses, some free, some paid, depending on what it is you're wanting to take. But I always like to provide some information, some courses for folks to take. So I'm putting some links into the chat now for an AWS Backup Primer. And then we also have an AWS Backup Getting Started. Both those courses are on Skill Builder. So if you want to check this out for yourself, go ahead and click those links and give them a shot.
And Chris, we can do one thing. We can just go to the next question by the time restore is.
And then we can circle back. All right. Yeah, that's the name of the game for this
Yep.
today's episode. We're going to circle back. So we'll go ahead and jump over to my screen real quick, where I am sharing our next question from Data Hosting. Great username. We already know what you do up front. But they need a guide step-by-step for setting up Audit Manager. So Audit Manager is, of course, separate tool, but I'm also curious to know, how does Audit Manager work with backup, or does it work with backup? What is the relationship there?
Okay, so we can go to my console window. I already have like AWS Backup Audit Manager here. So you can basically click on frameworks and get started. So basically what Audit Manager is to make sure, like, am I backing up my data? Am I backing up correctly? Is my data encrypted? Am I making sure my backup posture is following the best compliance purpose that my organization is sticking to? So if your organization is following SOC 2, or if it's following PCI, or if it's following HIPAA, just what you need to do is go here, create framework as per your requirement. But before that, there are two things that you might want to do. One is like you need to enable resource tracking from like AWS config setting. So go to settings, and the only thing that you might want to enable for this purpose is AWS backup plans, backup vault, recovery point, and backup section. So this is your console. You can go into settings, and either you can enable recording for all the resources, or you can enable recording for specific type. So in this case, I have enabled recording for AWS backup plan, backup vault, backup section, recovery point, and report plan.
Okay.
So the required ones, again, it will directly go to your console. It will directly take you to AWS config setting, and you can stop and start recording here for whatever required services that we recommend. In
Sure.
this case, I'm just focusing on AWS backup. So let's just go back to framework, just making sure my resource tracking is turned on. And then I will go ahead and click on create framework. So let's name this as SOC 2, just for namesake, and doing it for company's final or yearly audit. You can like provide your description,
Yeah.
and there are 11 controls that define the compliance posture. So whatever compliance framework that aligns with your organization, stick to that.
Mm.
So most common ones are my resources protected by backup plan. So here you can go and select either resources by type, tag resources, or single resources. In this case, let's just go ahead and do tag resources, or just go resources by type and select the resource that you want. In this
Okay.
case, I'm just selecting EBS, EC2, uh, just EBS and EC2,
Sure.
and then backup plan minimum frequency and minimum retention period. So if I want to evaluate this backup, then what should be the minimum frequency? Like after how many days my backup should kick off, and what should be the total retention period? So I
Mm.
want to make sure my backups are happening daily, and retention period is up to 5 weeks. So you can select either all backup plans, tagged resources, tag backup plans, or a single backup plan. Uh, so in this case, I don't have a backup plan, so I will just go ahead and select all the backup plans which are readily available. You can prevent vault, you can prevent manual deletion of recovery point.
Mm.
So this evaluates if backup vault do not allow manual deletion. So that is really important. So if your organization is under cyber attack or ransomware attack, the first thing that ransomware will try to do is try and delete your recovery point. So you
Mhm.
can add that evaluation. You can give access to some of your IAM roles or the backup administrator roles, like who has access to deleting your recovery point based on your organization requirement. So
Sure.
you can do that. In this case, I don't require this check, so I am going to simply skip off. Uh, then you can select the retention period for your recovery point. In this case, I'm selecting the default 5 weeks.
Mhm.
The very important thing is, as Alan mentioned, 3-2-1 backup rule. You need to make sure you have at least one backup in your same region and one backup which is copied across different region. So again, you can select by choice, by type, by tag resources. Most of the people do is by tag resources for their production environment, but in this case, I'm just going to do by type and for all the resources here. Cross account copy, as Alan mentioned, the best backup architecture is moving your backup to a logically separate account, which is having a logically air gap vault. So make sure, so this check will make sure you have like cross account backup or not, and you can mention the account ID where it should copy the backup. In this case, I don't have that set up currently, so I'm just simply going to disable it, and so on and so forth. So you can create backup vault protected by vault lock, and you can create like you can evaluate all the 11 checks. This is our new check, which is like logically air gap vault. And if you need
Oh,
more
yeah.
information on what this check does, you can simply click the control here on the info page, and it will show you like this control evaluates if resource has at least one recovery point. So it will give you all that information. You go ahead, create the framework, and there you go, your framework is ready. You can go on the reports. It will create a report on daily basis. So you can choose a template, like you want to create report based on your backup reports, restore report, copy job, or like the compliance report. So in this
Mhm.
case, I'm going to select the compliance report, and I'm going to select the framework that I just created, which is SOC 2 framework.
Mhm.
And you can select an S3 bucket where you want to dump those reports, and that's it. Your report plan is ready. So once those reports are like ready, it takes minimum 24 hours to evaluate the backup posture and generate those reports. And once that is done, you can the backup audit manager will uh, transition or migrate your backup reports to your designated S3 bucket, you can go to S3 bucket, pull up those reports and start evaluating the data. And if you want to just simplify this, you can act your S3 bucket as an input to Amazon queue, so that you don't need to manually like scheme through all your report. Just go ahead and simply question Amazon queue, like, did my backup fail? Is my backup posture compliant as per SOC 2 or not? So on and so forth. So you can simply have this control in place.
Good plug for Amazon Q to be able to slide that in and say, hey, no, it makes it easier. Just ask Q to do it.
Yeah. So let's just quickly go to restore thing. My restore is completed. That was my recovery point, and this is the volume that the restore created.
For sure.
Let's just go to EC2 console, under volumes, select the volume type, and we'll go ahead and attach this volume to my instance, which is my mail server instance. You can select a naming convention, which is SDC, attach volume, and let's go and connect to instance one more time.
Mm-hmm.
So we can see here from LSPLK that NVMe 2N1 is created here. I will go ahead and make a data2 directory for restoring the data. Data4, and let's try and mount /dev/ go to cd data 4 var spool, and you can see all the files are here which was deleted, and I can just copy this file back to my data directory, which was data/var spool. That's it, and your data is restored.
Voila, just like that.
Yeah.
So hopefully for data hosting, this is the step-by-step guide that they were dreaming of.
Yes. So just one quick tip. There is a new feature. I mean, it's not a new feature, where you can have like file level restore that is possible for EBS volume. And you can simply implement that feature, and you can restore your files in S3 bucket and then copy your data to your EC2 instance. So that is also one of the easiest way of restoring file level recovery with help of AWS Backup Service. Yeah.
Okay. So unfortunately, we are like at time. So we don't really have a whole lot more for Q&A here at the end. But I just want to say thank you so much, Siddhesh and Alan, for being here today. We have a ton of information. I'm really looking forward to getting this up, the link up on Repost, and it's going to live on Twitch, of course, for anybody who joined late. Go back and watch it. This is a very information-dense episode. So I hope that it answers all of the questions and more. And looking forward to having you both back on the show, which I'm sure you'll both be back eventually. But to anybody who had a question that didn't get answered, please go over to repost.aws, post it there. Myself, Siddhesh, Alan, a bunch of other experts are over there, waiting in the wings, fingers warmed up on their keyboards, ready to go to answer those questions for you. And of course, if you're not doing anything, next Tuesday, same time, same bat channel, we're going to be back here on Twitch and on YouTube. We're going to be talking about advanced strategies for Amazon Bedrock agents. We're going to be rejoined by our guest, Eddie, from July 1st, along with another guest, Adam, both good guys, to talk about advanced strategies for Amazon Bedrock, which who doesn't want to be more advanced with Amazon Bedrock? So that's going to do it for us, as we are at time. The hook is coming in from off screen to take me out. So thank you all so much for your time and attention today. Looking forward to seeing you next week. And until then, happy building.